Hi, I'm Daniel Gold, and welcome to the subscriber-only version of the Leadership Lab, the audio experience where I bring my Substack post to life. By day, I'm a partner at BDO USA, but this podcast is my personal passion project, completely separate and apart from my day job, but reflect the same passion that I exhibit everywhere for teaching, mentoring, and helping others succeed through simple, impactful lessons. It is my hope you'll walk away with practical takeaways to help you on your leadership journey. Thanks for being a part of this community and joining me in the Leadership Lab. Let's get started. Sometimes you have to go slower to get faster. In the 2025 marathon season, elite runners weren't just fast, they were efficient. Many clocked cadences over 180 steps per minute, the gold standard for optimal running form. That consistency isn't just about raw speed. It's about running smarter, reducing wasted motion, and sustaining peak performance across 26.2 miles. That got me thinking about my own journey, especially after completing my first half marathon, and now looking ahead to the full. At first glance, it might seem simple. Just add more miles. But progress isn't linear. It's not even always fast. Sometimes it starts by slowing down. Since I began running 2.5 years ago, I've tracked more than just pace and distance. My watch captures deeper metrics: cadence, which is the steps per minute; vertical oscillation, which is how much I bounce up and down; ground contact time, which is how long my foot stays on the ground; and running power, which is my energy output. But for a long time, I didn't do anything with the data. That changed when I realized these weren't just metrics. They were insights, indicators of how efficient or inefficient I was, and where small changes might yield big gains. Take cadence. I hovered around 152 on what are called easy runs. Not a crisis, but a clue. Lower cadence often means longer strides and more bounce. Energy spent going up instead of forward. Similarly, too much ground contact time signals drag, just like a stalled workflow in business. So, I experimented. I adopted a Kaizen mindset, making micro adjustments: shorter stride, better posture, arm swing. But the real shift came from running with a metronome. Set at 80 beats per minute, it synced with my left foot and brought me from 150 to 160 steps per minute in just one run. My form smoothed out. I wasn't pushing harder. I was moving smarter. But I also noticed something else. I was running too fast. I had to intentionally slow it down, even while improving my form. And that's the paradox. To get faster, I had to slow down. To move forward, I had to become more intentional. To grow, I had to stop sprinting. The post-it that changed my pacing. On the corner of my computer monitor, there's a post-it note that's been there for years. Written in thick Sharpie in all caps, it reads, "Slow down." That's it. Simple, but incredibly powerful. I put it there to remind myself, not just during chaotic weeks or deadline pressure, but every single day, that when I rush, I make mistakes. Not always big ones, but rushing through projects, checklists, conversations, or transitions almost always means missing something small that matters. And it doesn't matter how many times I've done the task. The moment I start rushing, my mind starts skipping. I might forget one checkbox, one dependency, one tiny thing that turns into a big thing. If I rush out the door to an important meeting, I might forget the presentation. If I rush out the door for a personal event, I might have left something behind I intended to return to a store. And when you're rushing, you rarely noticed what you missed until it's too late. But this note doesn't tell me to slow down just for the sake of slowing down. It's a reminder to be intentional, to operate with awareness, to bring mindfulness to my pace, my choices, my preparation. That post-it note is the work world version of the same mindset I bring to running. I used to skip over my cadence and vertical oscillation metrics, thinking I didn't need them. But the moment I slowed down, paid attention, and trained with more intention, my running became smoother, stronger, more aligned with my goal, not just to finish, but to finish strong and healthy. The same goes for leading people. Whether you're an executive or an individual contributor, the small things matter. Those checklist items are there for a reason. That feedback loop exists for a reason. That pause to reflect isn't wasted time, it's required time. When we rush, we forget what matters. And whether the results in a running injury or a lost client, the lesson is still the same. Slow down, be mindful, be intentional, and that's how you get there faster. It's not about stifling innovation or grinding less. It's about modulating, recalibrating, leading with precision. So yes, this is about running, but it's also about leadership. That post-it is more than a mantra for me. It is a mantra for my team. Because when we build that mindset into how we work, we don't just hit KPIs. We hit them with clarity, control, and confidence. So here's my Leadership Lab takeaways. There are 5 questions I believe leaders should be asking regularly. Number 1, what is your cadence? Just like runners track steps per minute, assess the rhythm of your team. Are you sprinting through everything? Is there space to recover, reflect, and refocus? Number 2, where are you leaking energy? In running, bounce and ground contact reveal inefficiencies. In business, it's missed handoffs, duplicated work, or misaligned initiatives. Audit your form. Number 3, are you training in the right zone? Not everything needs to be a sprint. Zone 2 work, deep thinking, strategy sessions, team development, builds sustainable capacity. So make room for it. Number 4, when was your last recalibration? Just like runners adjust based on performance data, leaders need regular checkpoints. What did you learn this quarter? And what needs to shift? And finally, number 5, are you focused on form or force? Hustle culture celebrates effort, but real leadership is about alignment, clarity, and execution. Form beats force every time. Here's my final thought. Just like I remind myself on the road, we as leaders need to remember we're stronger than we think, and we do hard things. But doing hard things well requires pacing, systems, reflection, and the willingness to pause, not out of weakness, but out of wisdom, because sometimes the fastest way forward is to slow down. Remember, leadership isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Take this lesson, put it into action, and continue setting the gold standard in your own life and at work. See you next time.